I used to really struggle with dialing in a good, clean guitar tone, like this one. It seems like it would be harder to dial in a good distorted guitar tone because there's so much more going on, right? The reality is that distortion adds harmonic excitement, saturation, and compression, all of which are the lip filler, chin-enhancing Botox shots of the electric guitar tone zeitgeist. And it would seem that it would be enough to just plug a guitar into a clean amplifier, something of like the Vox or Fender Persuasion. Unadulterated, uncolored, pure tone. And I really gave that an honest try, but when I did it, I felt like my tracks were kind of thin sounding and maybe dynamically naked and inconsistent. And my sessions at the end just didn't really feel like a record. As Jim Lill puts it in his wonderful videos, it doesn't matter what a guitar amp sounds like in a room. All that matters is what it sounds like recorded. And if you disagree with me, you can package up your favorite unrecorded guitar tone and send it to me so I can listen to it. So I started processing my guitar tone after recording it, and everything I tried that was matching what the pros were doing, it would just consistently sound overcooked. And I was like, what gives? This doesn't sound right either. Processing after the guitar is recorded is a valuable piece of what makes a tasty, memorable guitar part, but it needs to be done in stages at various levels in the mix. That's what I was missing, bro. That was the missing piece, my guy. Subtle, sometimes inaudible changes stack up over time and create a lush, natural sounding clean tone that isn't thin or muddy or harsh. So now for the mix, but a little disclaimer. All of the following is completely useless if you don't have a good performance in the recording going into it, right? The way you interface with the instrument, the way you touch the strings, the way you control extraneous noise, all of this is going to be crucial for a good sound. A good performance is like a delicious corn chip. It's great on its own, but the mixing process is like the salsa or the dip into which you scoopeth thine corn. Here I have my session open for my video I posted yesterday of me covering a little song that my church just released called Christ Be the Center. And some of you guys have been asking if I did the guitar work on this track. And no, I did not do the guitar work on the released song. Although this is my home church and I play there nearly every weekend, I had nothing to do with the production of that song. I believe the powers that be just flew to Nashville and hired a room full of session musicians to knock it out real quick. And that makes complete economical sense because everybody can be in the same room at the same time. These guys are pros, they do 3 or 4 sessions a day like this, and then they break for lunch at Red Robin, which is an excellent segue for today's sponsor, Red Robin. Imagine if Red Robin actually sponsored my guitar tone video. They do have bottomless fries and service with a smile. Okay, this video is not sponsored. So on this track, I'm recording my PRS Custom 24 loaded with bare knuckle polypath pickups, which are Adam Getgood's low output vintage wind signature pickup. They sound incredible and I adore them. And one of the very first tricks I'm using to get this tone is actually happening before my recording session. I'm running the volume knob on my guitar at like 5, so basically halfway up. This is to shape the body and remove some of the boldness of the neck pickup. This way I can run my amp simulator really loud, like you could a real tube amp. And that's gonna drive some of that transformer and tube emulation, get that extra saturation, but it'll still be a listenable and manageable clean tone because that input volume is backed off. Quick tip, if you've never done this before, take your favorite real clean amplifier in the real world and turn it up a lot. But be very careful with this, don't blow your ears out, okay? Listen to me carefully. Start with your guitar plugged in, turned all the way off, and then turn on your amp. Turn it up a little bit, get some volume going, and then just very carefully turn up your guitar a little tiny bit, like to 1 or something. And that tone that you're gonna hear is going to be so open and reactive and honest to what the string is doing. And I think you're gonna love it. It's huge and pure, and it's got room to play in. Okay, let's dig into the mix here. For my amp in this mix, I'm running the Neural DSP Morgan Amp Suite using the AC20 amplifier and the included compressor pedal in front of it. No wet effects yet though. But for the cab, I am using the Little Cube's Spring Tone cab from David Maximitsich. He knows his cabs, man. Every IR this guy makes are awesome. So go hit up the Little Cube's website And definitely download the Springtone kit there. Mix 13, that is my secret weapon IR. Freaking love it. The first thing I hit after this amp is an SSL 4KE channel strip, and I'm not making any adjustments here. I just wanted to get that tonal emulation going of what a real 4KE channel strip sounds like, so I can get that subtle, punchy harmonic depth. Next up, I'm hitting tape saturation. Tape saturation is wonderful on clean electric guitars. It smooths out pokey transients in a pleasing way, and it adds weight to the low end. I chose the J37 tape from Waves for this, but you can use virtually any tape saturation plugin for this. I think the UAD Studer tape would have been really nice, because that's a very warm, round sounding tape. I often find that clean guitar is lively and dynamic, almost to a fault, and it can be particularly harsh or boxy. So the next layer of the puzzle is to add a little bit of control. And I do this with FabFilter's multiband compression in these 3 bands right here. I've got one for low end, one for the boxy mid-range, and then one for the harsh upper mids and beyond. All I'm really looking for here is a gentle kiss in these 3 bands, like 1 to 3 dB of gain reduction max at the loudest points. Doing this kind of regionalized compression will help smooth the performance without taking away any of the soul or intention behind the touch of the guitar, which is extremely important. We're going for transparent micro improvements here. We don't want to squash this into oblivion or overcook it. You might already think I'm overcooking it or overthinking it, but have you considered shut up? Shut up. Next up after that, I've got the Lindell 80 series bus here. This is based on the Neve 1272 bus. I like using this on a guitar bus, but since this is just one guitar, I'm not using a bus. But adding this just gives me a little bit of that classic Neve style tone, which further shapes the track. I am driving it just a little bit to kind of open up the plugin a little bit. After this, I've got the Soft Tubes Harmonics Analog Saturation Processor. This one I'm just adding some transformer saturation just to give it a little bit more harmonic depth. The difference with this is very subtle, but it's very pleasing. Now I'm doing the actual compression stage. But since I have balanced and harmonically enriched the tone from all the tiny moves I've made so far, I feel confident that we can use this bit of compression here for tone character to enhance the track without bogging it down. That's the important part. I'm using an LA3A style compressor here, which is a solid state program dependent optical compressor. So we don't have a lot of controls on the front. The mojo of this compressor is just how it is. It's got a very fast attack time, and the release generally happens in 2 stages. There's a fast release up front, and then there is a slower program dependent release. So that is going to change depending on the input information. So what kind of signal this receives, the duration of the signal, the intensity of it, things like that. So it's just a good compressor for electric guitar. I don't have to mess with attack and release times. It already does a wonderful job of musically leveling the track. And when I'm listening to this here, I'm aiming for about 1 dB of gain reduction. 1 dB, how can you possibly hear that? It's basically nothing. That's the point, bro. It's basically nothing. Subtlety, right? And then finally after that, I've got my wet effects. Just some subtle delay and a splash of reverb because the performance is meant to fill space and be ambient. This is a matter of taste, right? I did the wet effects in just another instance of the Morgan amp suite because I really like the delay and reverb pedal in here. Like, they're totally fine. You could use other stuff. You don't have to. I chose to put them here at the end of the whole chain because I didn't want to compress the reverb or delay tails. I just want the reverb and delay to behave the way that they do and just echo the best version of my guitar tone now that it's been fully processed. So let's do a quick listen test. I'll put all the plugins in, we'll listen to that for about 2 measures, and then I'll turn them all off. Everything but the amp and the wet effects, of course. So you can see what the full mix processing actually does to my tone. And I think you will be surprised. The change here is gentle and decisive. It's present, but not harsh. And it sounds like I have full control of the instrument as the performer, and the mix isn't just squashing and compressing it down into a tiny blob. The crazy thing about this is that you don't even have to be recording music to get a good tone like this. You can do a lot of these same mixing moves on a multi-effects pedal, like a quad cortex or an axe effects. So you could mix your tone for live use as well. And I teach tricks like that to my private online guitar students all week long. And we work on songwriting and theory and technique, but also mixing and content and video production. And of course, just learning your favorite songs by your favorite artists and analyzing how they work. All in a fun and easygoing environment where I use this camera and this mic and that guitar, which you can't see. So if you like the vibes and feel like you could benefit from some one-on-one coaching, hit me up on my website at plantbasedriffs.com. Let's get busy. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something useful. If you did, please remember to like and leave a comment on the video so that the algorithm pushes this to other musicians just like you, because that really helps support me and I appreciate it greatly. See you guys next time.